champion! Hey, Taylor, turn around, turn around.
Has absolutely
I just know I'm going to punch him in the face really, really, really hard on Saturday night.
Some fighters don't just chase victory, they crave humiliation. They taunt legends, laugh at scars, even spit on the battles others survived. But the fight has no mercy. The moment that cage locks, every word becomes a target painted on their jaw. And when karma swings, it doesn't miss. It drops bodies, it silences crowds, it rewrites careers in a single punch. From savage UFC knockouts to ruthless boxing wars, this is the purest form of justice you'll ever see. Subscribe now, because what's coming isn't just violence, it's reckoning. Taylor Starling didn't just show up, she showed off. At a crowded public event, she walked right up to Ferea, grabbed her belt, and posed like it was hers. It was all swagger, with no idea what was coming. At the face-off, Starling treated it like an Instagram photo shoot. Smirks, eye rolls, playful taunts. And her expression was something you had to see. On the surface, sweet and harmless, but in reality, a spiteful and arrogant nature. But Ferea wasn't playing games. She shoved Starling back hard, letting her know this wasn't going to be cute. And she appeared in her usual style. She humiliatingly judged Taylor's appearance in front of everyone. And overall, in women's sports, you rarely see such aggression and such spectacular press conferences. The bell rang and the fun ended. Taylor started off beautifully, but Ferea came forward like a machine. No emotion, no hesitation. The first clean combo landed.
Shots, there's the uppercut, power on the...
And Starling went down fast. She got up, dazed and panicked, turned to her corner and said, "I can't do this." But her coach didn't save her.
Hey, Taylor, turn around, turn around. You okay?
Ferea stepped in again. Another wave of punches. Starling threw her hands up and quit. 47 seconds. That's all it took. Ferea didn't just defend her title. She stripped Starling of the image, the attitude, the hype. The belt she tried to steal for a clip was gone in under a minute. Ferea didn't just win. She erased the illusion in less than a round. At the weigh-in, Masabo crossed the line. He ripped the sacred headdress from Mongolian fighter Dana Batgerel's head, an act that nearly sparked a brawl on the spot. Batgerel didn't shout, didn't swing. He knelt, picked it up, and placed it back with quiet respect. Masabo saw weakness. What he didn't see was the storm behind the calm. Masabo, a product of Havana's rough streets, fought with chaos, speed, and unorthodox strikes. Batgerel, calm, composed, studying every move like a hunter tracking prey.
So both of it had an effect.
Round one was close. But still, at times, Masabo's fighting style proved more effective because Freddie wasn't afraid to charge forward, wasn't afraid to take hits, and was already prepared to absorb the blows along the way. Batgerel, on the other hand, tried to be cautious. Round two, Masabo dropped Batgerel with a right hand. But the Mongolian rose instantly. Eyes colder than before. That's when the hunt began. Batgerel pressed forward, jabs like spears, low kicks like axe chops. Masabo's footwork started to fade. The street fighter was running out of streets.
Third and final round underway, all still to play for here as Dana fires at the legs early.
Then, the moment that rewrote karate combat history. A single leap, a flying knee to the skull. Masabo dropped like a stone, the first flying knee knockout the promotion had ever seen. Masabo had mocked tradition. Batgerel answered with history. In the end, the headdress stayed on his head, and the belt stayed in his hands. April 1995, one of the wildest, dirtiest, most controversial slugfests the IBF ring had ever seen. Simon Brown, former unified world champion, chasing gold in a new weight class. Across from him, Vincent Pway, the reigning IBF champion. Fast, hungry, ruthless, two veterans, one belt. The bell rang, and Brown exploded. A crushing right hook rocked Pway. Then a vicious triple combo, and the champion hit the floor. The crowd erupted. Commentators were already writing Brown's comeback story. But Pway didn't read the script. He got up, still wobbly, and came back with fire. Seconds later, a picture-perfect right hand sent Brown crashing to the canvas for only the second time in his career. This wasn't boxing anymore. It was a street brawl in gloves. Round after round. No defense, no retreat, just war. Then it got dirty. Frustrated by Pway's resilience, Brown snapped. A blatant low blow. Pway folded in pain. Before he could recover, Brown fired hooks, even while Pway sat slumped in the corner. And then, the headbutt. The arena gasped. Everyone expected a disqualification. But the referee let it go. Brown charged in wild, arms flying, Chin exposed, Pway waited, calculated, and unleashed one surgical right hook. That was all it took. Brown dropped like a puppet with its strings cut. Even after getting brutally knocked out, Brown kept swinging from the canvas, throwing punches at shadows, fighting an opponent that wasn't there. It wasn't just a knockout, it was a total system crash. Pway kept his IBF belt. Brown kept swinging, but the fight, maybe his career, was already over. Just look at this cutie. That's Oriel. And that's who he's about to fight.
来年以降恐るべき存在になりそうですよ。
The one and only Bob Sapp. Bob the Beast Sapp. A man built like a comic book villain. Not known for technique, but one solid punch, and you're out cold.
Napoleon blown apart. Napoleon blown apart. You better get it right. It's Bob the Beast Sapp. And you may meet the right one or the left one.
Oriel, nicknamed Kung Fu Panda, wasn't the type to be fazed by threats or scary appearances. The fight was expected to be fast-paced. Both men were going to spend everything in the first minute. The bell rang. Both big men charged straight at each other, neither willing to take a step back. Full throttle ahead. Bob wound up his powerful right hand for a knockout blow, but Oriel slipped in a clean left hook. A couple of follow-ups, and it was over. Victory for the Panda. 40 seconds, that's all it took. Despite Sapp's tight cover, Oriel's power broke through. Proof that in a super heavyweight fight, one punch can end it all. Before the fight even began, Gurkhan Oskin made the mistake he'd remember for the rest of his career. He walked right up to Mike Iron Zidus, who was 22 kilos lighter, and tried to humiliate him. He splashed water straight into Mike's face. No respect. Just pure arrogance. From the opening seconds, Oskin played the bully, laughing off punches, waving Mike in, daring him to hit harder. But when you tell Iron Mike to hit harder, he usually does. A brutal right hook shut the crowd up in an instant. Oskin hit the canvas like a sack of bricks. The Beast Act was over, but Mike wasn't finished. Round by round, the arrogance drained away. Oskin slowed, the taunting stopped, his hands dropped. Then Iron Mike saw his opening, mock and ended it. Clean, ruthless, final. The man who thought size and disrespect would win walked away with nothing but the memory of a Greek storm named Iron Mike. This is the most famous stare-down in boxing history. Mike Tyson, just released after 3 years in prison, locked in on the man who swore he'd end his career for good. Peter McNeely, the Hurricane.
I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass.
Promised to knock out Tyson in the first round.
When I wrapped Mike Tyson in a cocoon of horror, he'll be singing with our friends down at the House of Blues.
Sure, he'd KO'd every opponent before, but this was Iron Mike. Seconds into the first round, McNeely hit the floor. Most men would have folded right there, but the Hurricane wasn't built like most. He kept coming, swinging wild, trying to drown Tyson in chaos. The problem was, Mike didn't feel the punches.
Already been down.
Another crushing left hand. McNeely was down again. The crowd roared. Before it got ugly, his corner waved it off. Some thought he quit, but in truth, they saved him from the storm Tyson was about to unleash.
What's going on? The round's
Tony Bellow stood tall at the press conference.
I have the one thing that he doesn't have, and that's a punch that can switch lights off within the blink of an eye. Just one wrong step, one wrong maneuver, and it's over. I'm going to break his heart. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get the monster. With something inside him, I can't even put it into words what goes through my head. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I just know I'm going to punch him in the face really, really, really hard on Saturday night.
The confidence was off the charts. The belief, unshakable. Fresh off conquering the World Boxing Super Series, Alexander Usyk moved up in weight. His welcome gift? A powerful, loudmouthed former champion, Tony Bellow. Early on, Bellow was in control, confident, provoking, dropping his hands, dismissing Usyk's shots. His right hand was dangerous, his defense solid. But Usyk isn't your typical puncher. He's a surgeon. Precision, patience, and the lungs of a marathon runner. He studied Bellow, matched his rhythm, cut angles, chipped away at the guard. Midway through, Usyk started finding space for that straight left. The tide was turning.
The ultimate challenge in what he promises. Say, I'll just go and knock him.
I got completely absorbed in the fight, sorry. Such beautiful fights are rare.
Because round 2, 3, and 4 was good, but good right.
As the 7th round closed, Bellow slowed, feet heavy. Usyk saw it, left hand.
Wearing down, still looking for that right gap.
Then another, harder. Bellow collapsed. Lights out. That night, Bellow learned his own prophecy could come true, just not for him. Usyk proved that knockouts aren't just about power. They're about timing, precision, and breaking a man down until there's nothing left. Khamzat Chimayv said he'd steamroll Gilbert Burns. Instead, he walked through fire.
Hey, I'm gonna smash that guy, knock him out 1 minute, guys. I promise you. He's too little, boy.
Let's do it, can't wait.
Scared, boy, you know. Too little, but I have to go to other divisions. Maybe like, I don't know.
Can't understand. Where's the translator?
I kick your ass and his ass together. Come in the cage. I'm gonna kill that guy. I don't care what I'm gonna do, you know. I'm gonna go jump in the cage and smash that guy, you know. I don't care. He will be down, I will smash his face. I will stand up, I will knock him out, you know.
He's another win. I don't care what everybody's thinking. They think he's a tough opponent. I respect that, but I'm on my way back to the title. I give this guy the opportunity. I'm the number 2, he's number 11, and I give him the opportunity because I want to face the toughest guy, the best guys in this division, but it's just going to be another step closer to the title.
At UFC 273, the hype machine met reality. Chimayv came into the fight aiming for smash. He dropped Burns early, opened him up, and looked like he had control. But Burns wasn't there to play the victim. In round 2, Burns fired back. He cracked Chimayv with overhands, dropped him, and refused to back down. The unstoppable Chimayv was suddenly bleeding, breathing heavily, and forced into deep waters. What looked like an easy showcase turned into a brutal 3-round slugfest. By round 3, both were running on fumes, trading fists with nothing left in the tank but pride. The decision went to Chimayv, but the myth took a hit. Burns didn't win on paper, but he won respect. Chimayv got the win. Burns got the crowd. Neither walked out the same as they were before the fight. In this next fight, Nikita Tszyu didn't just shut down the talk, he folded Ben Bomber in under a minute. Ben Bomber came in loaded, spotlighting Tszyu as an overrated brute with no skill.
I just believe I'm the better skilled fighter. You know, that's no matter how you want to cut it or slice it, that's what I believe, and I'm going to prove it on Wednesday night, and I can't wait. There you go, mate. You can't do 8 rounds, and you're saying that's embarrassing.
He trained in Vegas, talked legacy, and called himself the breakout star. Nikita said,
"No sympathy at all. I kind of want him to suffer. Like, I saw his face was all red. I heard he was just sweating like moments before. So get back on the sweat, buddy."
But when the lights hit at Margaret Court Arena, all that noise faded fast. Nikita Tszyu didn't talk. He hunted. From the opening bell, Tszyu walked Bomber down with that same quiet aggression that's become his trademark. No showboating, no wasted movement, just pressure. Then came the uppercut. Clean, violent, decisive. Bomber wobbled. Tszyu's eyes locked on the target. And what followed was a brutal flurry that ended with Bomber face down on the floor. So sudden, he almost took the referee with him. All done in 51 seconds. Tszyu didn't celebrate much. He didn't need to because the work was done. The hype was made. Bomber, once undefeated, left with his record shattered and his hype silenced. Tim Tszyu, watching from the ringside, gave it full marks without hesitation. No disagreement from the crowd either.
Look at Tim.
Nikita was not just following the family name, he was sharpening his own path in the Fight Club. In 2009, Dan Henderson left Michael Bisping flatlined on the stage with one of the most brutal knockouts in UFC history. 7 years later, Bisping finally got his shot at redemption, and he didn't waste it. UFC 204, Manchester. Bisping entered as middleweight champion, a title he'd won on short notice in stunning fashion. Across from him stood Henderson, now 46 years old, chasing one last run and looking to replay history. For 5 rounds, they fought ferociously. Henderson landed early, twice dropping Bisping with that infamous right hand. But the Brit never broke. Bloodied but defiant, he clawed back with volume, movement, and heart. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't clean, but when the final bell rang, it was Bisping who stood with the belt. And with closure. A decision some debated, but a result Bisping fought tooth and nail to earn. Henderson retired that night, proud but beaten. Bisping, meanwhile, walked away not just as champion, but as a man who silenced the past on his terms. In 2016, Vicente Luque flattened Belal Muhammad in the first round. That loss sat in Muhammad's head for 6 years. So when they ran it back in 2022, he didn't just want to win, he wanted to erase that memory.
If this guy keeps winning, he's ahead of me and he beat me, there's no way I'm going to get to the gold before him. So I'm like, I have to get this fight back. There has to be a way for me to get this fight back, and I earned it. Now I'm here now.
And that's exactly what he did. From the first round, Muhammad outworked, outpaced, and outclassed Luque. He mixed in takedowns, Jabs, footwork, and grit, turning a dangerous finisher into a passenger. Every time Luque loaded up, Muhammad ducked under. Every time Luque pressed forward, Muhammad circled out and peppered him with shots. Luque cracked him with a big shot in round 3, but Muhammad never blinked. He circled back, reset the pace, and stuck to his game plan. When the final bell rang, Muhammad didn't scream. He raised his hands in relief, not celebration. Muhammad said afterwards,
This was my hump I had to get over, you know? He knocked me out. He beat me. I had to think about that my whole camp. The whole trolls on Twitter, everybody, they're posting it all the time now. Now what do you got to say? I won.
Muhammad didn't just avenge his loss. He proved he's elite. He silenced the past and stamped his place at the top. The first time Rose Namajunas fought Jessica Andrade, she looked untouchable until she wasn't. One slam changed everything. Namajunas hit the stage like a rag doll. Lights out, title gone. She vanished for over a year, healing not just her body, but her spirit.
It's been a long process. I definitely went through some different grieving processes. I went through the whole, pointing the finger everywhere else and then pointing it back at myself and then making those adjustments and then still feeling, like holding on to that and then letting it go again and then, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, but I went through all that and here I am now just like ready for a fight.
Then came the rematch at UFC 251. No fans, no noise, just Rose, back in the fire with the same opponent who dropped her on her head. And this time, she didn't blink. From the opening bell, Namajunas was crisp and right on target. Her jab sliced through Andrade's defenses. Her footwork kept her just out of range. Andrade kept swinging, but Rose stayed with surgical composure. This was no runaway win, though. Andrade landed her shots. By the final round, Namajunas' face was a mess, eyes swollen shut, blood pouring from her nose. But she never wavered. All 3 rounds were an intense fight. Andrade tried to drag her into a brawl. Rose answered with sharp counters and clean exits. The final horn sounded, with both opponents exhausted, standing, still throwing. The judges saw it close. 2 gave it to Namajunas, 1 to Andrade. Rose didn't dominate. She survived. She exorcised a demon. She fought the storm that once broke her and walked through it. The belt wasn't on the line, but everything else was. Revenge doesn't always come easy. Sometimes it comes with a swollen eye, a split nose, and the kind of silence only victory can bring.